Today I'll be showing the differences between a beginner, intermediate, and expert terrarium. Welcome back, or if you're new here, I'm Tanner, this is Sylvester, this is the Tanner Terrarium. First, let's start with the beginner. I pre-cleaned all of the containers for this. For the drainage layer, we're using expanded clay pellets, also known as LECA. This is the most recommended drainage layer for any terrarium, beginner to expert. It's important to note that your drainage layer should be deep enough to allow water to set in the drainage layer and not touch the substrate above. What helps with that is not putting excess amounts of water inside of a closed terrarium. Now we need a barrier to separate the drainage layer from the substrate itself. For that, I use fiberglass window screen mesh and a little craft tool for cutting circles. Now let's measure the diameter of the drainage layer. For that, since the vase is clear, I like to just look down from above. We have about 4 inches. I'm going to add ½ an inch to that to account for the curvature. So let's set this to 4½ inches. Now the blade is exposed. I'm going to set that there. And then now that it's correct size, let's slip it inside. That's what she said. Perfect fit. For the substrate, I created this mixture. It's a very popular recipe for terrarium substrate. It is 1 part cocoa fiber, cocoa core, mixed with 1 part sphagnum moss, mixed with 2 parts worm casting. I also use substratum or aqua soil as a substitute for the vermicast, which is the fertilizer. 1 part charcoal and 1 part drainage medium, which could be lava rock, perlite, sand, anything that's going to allow water to drain through the soil better. To add the substrate, I'm just using this little nursery pot. Makes it as an easy scoop. This is just a little terrarium tool made of half of a cork and a bamboo skewer. As I'm putting the substrate, sort of moving it around, I'm creating a slope towards the back of what will be the back of the terrarium to create depth and give the perspective more to look at. And since this is the beginner terrarium, we're just going to be using plain river rocks. Right now I'm lining these up so that I can build up the back a little bit more to create a shelf for the plants that will go in here. For this beginner terrarium, I chose 3 very simple plants. These are all cuttings from other terrariums that I have. So first up, the showcase plant will be the nerve plant, also known as Fittonia. Got a couple different cuttings here. The second is this Ficus Plumelia quercifolia, also just known as Ficus quercifolia or string of frogs. These are 2 very easy, throw them in and forget about them terrarium plants. And then this is Java moss. It's actually an aquarium moss. Can do very good in soil that maintains good moisture. It just won't grow out like it does in an aquarium. Our lowest layer down first. We'll just spread this out. We're going to use the skewer end of this tool to create holes in the substrate for our Fittonia just to sit in perfectly. Okay, here I am adding the plants to this beautiful terrarium.
What makes this terrarium the beginner level are these plants. Photonia and Ficus cordifolia are the two easiest terrarium plants by far. When I say throw them in and forget, I mean it. I was given a 1-inch cutting of this ficus 3 years ago. I got home, threw it in a small terrarium, and within a few months, I had a 2-inch thick mat of this stuff, filling the entire terrarium. Keep it humid and give it something to root into, and you'll have tons of it and never have to buy the plant again.
Well, I wasn't recording, but this is the intermediate terrarium. It's going to be an open top peperomia terrarium that dries out between waterings. I've got the drainage layer, the barrier, and the substrate in. Now it's time for the hardscape. Sorry for forgetting to record. We already got the drainage layer and substrate in here. These are some clippings of peperomia from another terrarium I have. This is that terrarium. As you can see, it's doing great. Open top. There's even some Photonia in there. It stays more humid down here because the leaves of these plants are sort of covering the top. And then here we have a Peperomia caparata. Beautiful silvery leaves, and these are actually the flowers of peperomias. We're going to put this little clay pot in there too for decoration.
Again, this is an open top terrarium, so this soil will be able to mostly dry out between waterings, and I'll have to be sure to let it dry out between waterings because these peperomias don't like to stay in soggy soil. They will get root rot. Here you see me breaking up a clay pot to use as decoration. And originally I was planning on using lava rocks as the hardscape in this, but I saw this sitting here and things changed, and I like how it turned out. This terrarium isn't what I usually make. I'm much more into the wet tropical ecosystems, but I do like the growth freedom that open top terrariums allow. Many terrariums can get overgrown, and open tops like this are able to grow up and out and give a nice lush appearance without overcrowding the glass walls.
Finally, the expert level terrarium. If you're enjoying the video so far, be sure to leave a like and subscribe.
Someone is at the front door.
This terrarium turns out to be one of my favorites. I've been saving this fern moss for this project. The plants are what makes this terrarium the expert level, just like the beginner terrarium. Not necessarily these first two, which are baby blue tears or Pilea glauca, and the pink lady or Calissia repens, but the next two plants, which are the begonia fern or Begonia bipennitifida, and the spotted lizard begonia, Begonia amphioxus. I'm worried about the fern begonia getting too large and taking over the terrarium, but I can always cut it out if that happens. I love begonias, the quality, the variety, and they love humidity. I don't see a lot of people using them in terrariums because they can get too big for your average sized terrarium, but smaller varieties like some Rex begonias and the spotted lizard are perfect for larger terrariums. The spotted lizard even has issues surviving outside of terrarium conditions. There is also a micro begonia species that I have called Begonia vinca covenii that thrives at close to 100% humidity.
You do be looking like a dinosaur. All right. Thanks for watching. If you want to see me turn a liquor bottle into a terrarium, click on this playlist. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe. What'd you say? Perfect.
Couldn't have done it better.
This is Sylvester.
Oh my gosh, this bro's not real right now. I gotta drag